Hello, this is Tanner with Yeshua's Return. Just wanted to get with you with this week's Bible message. I've been reading a lot in Exodus, Deuteronomy, uh, Genesis. This is the Bible that I try to consistently read. There are some times that I do try to kind of branch out, maybe not branch out, kind of reference. That's probably a better word. Reference a different Bible or different interpretation, I guess. Not interpretation. Transcription? Maybe that's a better word. Transcription of the Bible, as far as like King James, New King James, mainly those two. And then this is a complete Jewish Bible. This is one I consistently read. I have read, the NIV. I read it for several years. It's not a bad translation. There are a couple things that I think they directly missed in that translation, but for the most part, it's not a bad translation. Anyway, so here is, like I said, the complete Jewish Bible. This is Exodus, Shemot, I believe that's how we pronounce Exodus. That's the Hebrew word. So, of course, in Exodus chapter 8, we are in the process of Moshe. He is returned from the desert. He was exiled. He's met Aaron, and they're in the process of God's using them to deliver the children of Israel. So it says, Adonai spoke to Moshe and said, say to Aaron, reach out your hand with your staff over the rivers, canals, and ponds, and cause frogs to come up onto the land of Egypt. Aaron put out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt. But the magicians did the same with their secret arts and brought up frogs onto the land of Egypt. Okay. I always thought this was funny. In a way. They through their magic or just through their dark practices of soothsaying in Egypt, they were able to replicate in a way what God did through Aaron and Moshe. But they did it to their own land. They didn't do it to the Hebrews. They did it to themselves. And then Pharaoh, after they did this, after the land is literally covered with frogs, then Pharaoh he didn't summon the magicians, he summoned Moshe and Aaron, right here in verse 4. It said, intercede with Adonai to take the frogs away from me and my people, and I will let the people go and let the people go and sacrifice to Adonai. So I'm sure he talked to his magicians before. I'm suggesting this. This is obviously not, not in text. Right there's the text. It's not there. But wouldn't you think that he would talk to his magicians if he had any faith in them, or that they could actually do anything? And he doesn't. He talks to the people that he doesn't like. I don't think he, at this time, he does not like Moshe. He does not like Aaron. He doesn't want to let the people go. He despises them. He, their existence is a slight against the Egyptians, to say it the best. I don't know, with a defilement, maybe, just an area of just maybe disgust. I don't know if that's really the best word, but they did not like them. Okay, the Egyptians, they were persecuting them. They enslaved them. They were torturing them. They were beating them and forcing them to work to a quota that's impossible, and just to torture them for. So they did not like them. So he doesn't ask his magicians. He doesn't ask because he knows they're worthless. He knows their magic is only manipulation, that they're not able to actually perform the thing that he is asking, that he is wanting done. So he asks Moshe and Aaron because he knows he knows somewhere in his confused, I don't know, demented understanding of himself and who he is and who Moshe and Aaron are and who God really is, the God of Israel. So he talks to them. He says, intercede with Adonai and take the frogs away from me and my people, and I will let the people go and sacrifice to Adonai. So he says, if you do this, I will do this. And Moshe said to Pharaoh, he took him at his word, but God knew, and I think Moshe knew at this time, that he wasn't going to do it. So anyway, Moshe said to Pharaoh, not only that, but you can have the honor of naming the time when I will pray for you, your servants, and your people to be rid of the frogs. So the frogs were everywhere, and they affected everyone. They affected Pharaoh and everyone that was under Pharaoh's authority. His people, his servants, his household, everywhere these frogs were. So it says, both yourselves and your homes, and that they stay only in the river. So apparently they were coming from the river, or that was the main source. And Pharaoh, and look at this. This is what Pharaoh says. He answered, tomorrow. He said, tomorrow. Now, if you were so miserable and your people were so in such awful disarray, and I mean, they were going through this. It was a plague. It was a biblical plague that God brought on Pharaoh, and he did. You would think he would say today, like right now, I want the frogs out. Right now, I want delivered. And he says tomorrow. That's the cool thing about God, the God of the Jews, the God of the Hebrews. It says salvation is today. Today is the day of salvation. Right now is the acceptable time. That you don't have to wait. We don't have to wait to be comforted. We don't have to wait to be have our prayers answered. Well, yes, there are things that do take longer and do take time, and God, that's certain things are done on God's timetable. But when you have a prophet of God before you and is talking with you with the authority of God, and they ask you when you want this thing done, and you say tomorrow, that just astounds me. Today is the day. Right now is the acceptable time. We don't have to wait till tomorrow. We don't have to we don't have to live under the plague. We don't have to live under that feeling of doom and of I don't know if the word's like bastardness, but we have a loving Father, that cares for us, and He works right now. He works this very second. We don't have to wait. So He says tomorrow. And it says, it will be as you have said, and from this you will learn that Adonai, our God, has no equal. The frogs will leave you and your homes, also your servants and your people, and they will stay in the river only. Moshe and Aaron left Pharaoh's presence, and Moshe cried to Adonai about the frogs, and that Adonai had brought on Pharaoh. Adonai did as Moshe asked, and the frogs died in the houses, courtyards, and fields, and they gathered them in heaps till the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that he had been given some relief, he made himself hard-hearted, would not listen to them, just as Adonai had said would happen. So not only did Pharaoh not keep his word with Moshe, but he did not keep it with Adonai. Because he said, if you will do this, I will do this. And they had an agreement. And Moshe prayed and kept his word. And so did God, because God heard Moshe.